Cool.
Good to go. Clay, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. Thank you.
A couple days before for your second straight main event. What are the feelings feeling like?
I feel too good for it to be weight cut day. I've been telling coach that all day. I feel like my body feels amazing, so I'm ready to get in there and get it done.
I think the most important question is you said that you were bringing out your inner Ninja Turtle. So who is your favorite Ninja Turtle?
My favorite Ninja Turtle, hands down, is the party dude, Mr. Michelangelo.
I like that choice. So finally for me, man, Alex Martinez, another tough opponent right in front of you. Just kind of your overall thoughts on him.
Yeah, I really enjoy Alex Martinez. He's a really good kid, He's tough. He's gritty. He hangs in there. But I think he's young in the sport, and I think I have an advantage in that aspect. Like, I've been in this a long time, and I've been doing this a long time, so I feel like that'll give me the edge. But yeah, I think he's one of the toughest guys in the division for sure.
I've got a fun one for you, I hope. I saw that you were doing nunchucks on your Instagram. Curious who you think would win between you and Nick Diaz in a nunchuck fight.
In a nunchuck fight?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't know if you fight each other with nunchucks. I don't know how that works.
I mean, he might be a little flashier with nunchucks, but I mean, if it's a fight, I'm gonna try to smack him in the head with it. It's different than spinning him around and looking cool. So yeah, he's probably a little better at spinning him around and looking cool, but you give me a weapon, I'm a deadly man.
Who do you see in the finals?
In the finals,
Mm-hmm.
Me and whichever one of those other guys. I don't really know. We'll see. Yeah.
You don't have a preference of somebody you'd like to fight?
I mean, we'll see if Raush makes it past this guy. Raush. I'd love to fight Jeremy Stevens again, man. That was a banger. So his fighting style and my fighting style match up very well. We just like to slug it out. So that's who I'd like to fight again.
Okay, you also have had a good boxing career, and obviously things are going very well in MMA right now, but are you planning to ever have some more boxing matches in the future at any point?
I think I'm going to step away from boxing for a while. Anymore now, they want me to fight these like top dudes, and unless I'm just training boxing, that's tough to do, to switch back and forth. So yeah, I think right now my sole focus is on mixed martial arts for sure.
And what if they offered you like Jake Paul or something like that?
Jake Paul, I'd tell him let's MMA fight so I could kick that fool in the head.
Do you like what he's at least doing for boxing? I mean, drawing eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean, no comment.
All right, fair enough.
Looking at the standings, you both have 3 points. Does that factor into your game plan or your approach to this fight at all? Just knowing that there might be only one spot in the playoffs.
We're focused on winning the fight. I'm not going to get too caught up in worrying about if this and that and point system and all that. I'm just going to go in there and do what I love to do, and that's beat people up. So,
Did you learn anything specific from his first fight in the season?
He's tough, man. I got my hands full, but I'm ready to rock. So.
I was going to ask, kind of the more fights you get, the more top names you beat, more fans are kind of obviously gaining that respect for you as a fighter in MMA. So is the PFL, because now it's your third time headlining the card. How's that feeling?
I feel like it's well deserved. I've been in this game a long time. I've been fighting a long time, and I'm beating up tough guys. So and I'm making it look good when I do it. They're always exciting. So. I think the PFL is smart to put me out as the main event, and I feel like the fans enjoy it as well. So.
Jeremy made a comment after your first fight that if it was slated for 5 rounds, he thinks it would have been completely different. How do you think it plays out if it's got that extra 10 minutes?
I thought I almost put him out in the second round. You give me another 2 rounds, I mean, he might go to sleep.
You have a Street Fighter socks. You have a Mortal Kombat tattoo. What's the better game?
Mortal Kombat, in my opinion.
How come?
I just played it more. It's my generation. Street Fighter's a little before my generation.
Who's your go-to character?
Boom, Raiden,
Nice.
bro, hands down. I like if we were picking girls, I'd pick probably Katana.
Raiden and Katana.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I think we're good.
thank you guys.
I just have one for you back here in this.
Cool.
camera. Watch,
doutor.
E aí, meu amigo,
watch
tudo bem?
Fazer português depois.
Tá. Show,
Tudo bom,
show.
mano?
Beleza?
Beleza.
You could just grab the mic there, please.
Here?
Yes.
The microphone?
Yes, thank you so much.
Natan, how you feeling?
Good.
It's a couple of days away from your fight. How's the mood?
One second. Tu entendeu essa pergunta? Eu não entendi agora.
Como tá saindo, tá? Chegando a semana da luta, como que tá?
The fight week is very hard for all the fighters. Everybody needs to cut the weight a lot, sometimes a lot of weight, but for me, I'm accustomed with the fight weeks, the fight in PFL, like the first fight, after the second fight, 1 month and a half, 2 months, and I control my weight, but this is the hard part for the fighters, cut the weight, after cut the weight, checking the scale, that's it, just fight,
Wanted to talk about the fight that happened in April. A lot of people had you winning the fight. What did you think of the fight, and did you feel like you won the fight?
1 second.
Você acha que você chegou a ver a luta? Você achou que você ganhou a luta?
Yes, in my opinion, I won this fight against Olivier because I won my opinion, the second, the third round, but the judges, that commission is a little bit crazy, I don't know what happened, but in my opinion, I talked to all the coaches, not just my team, but another coach, and I talk, what's your opinion about this fight? And maybe all the coaches, the fighters talk to me, no, you won the fight, but yes, it is what it is,
What did you learn from that fight?
I need to finish, try to finish it like a little bit more fast since the start, the first minute in the first round, try to take KO or finish, but this sometimes is difficult, this is very hard because sometimes the fight is going just the for the judges, sometimes the fighters want to finish before the end, but sometimes it's not happening,
Fighting another tough opponent. I just wanted your thoughts on the matchup.
Yes, this is a rematch against Martinez, and I've trained with him in the American Top Team and fight with him and against him. In this second fight, I'm going to start to fight a little bit more fast, not lazy, because sometimes I start to like lazy in the second, third minute in the first round. But this fight, I'm going to try to finish this fight before the end and go to the playoffs.
Is it kind of weird fighting someone that you already trained with?
Yeah, not weird because he's not my partner, it's not my friend, but the American Top Team is so big, They are like, I've trained with many different peoples, different countries, and this sometimes happen, because there are a lot of fighters go training there. I'm living Florida, I train every day, but sometimes there are like some people going just for training for 2 months or 1 month,
And lastly, for me, Joanna from American Top Team,
Yes.
she retired. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
I'm happy about his career, because she's very strong. I have the same coach, the Catel Cubs, and I talked to her. Congratulations, you are amazing, amazing fighter, and I'm very happy for his career.
When you're coming off of a loss that you feel like you've won, does that put more pressure on you for this fight, or is it a little bit of motivation, or a little bit of both?
1 second.
I wasn't.
Oh, Diego!
Ela pergunta se você tá motivado, porque você sabe que ganhou a primeira luta e agora tem mais pressão de vir para essa segunda ter que ganhar.
Yes, I'm motivation because, in my opinion, I won my last fight, and I in my mind, no, you won the fight. You can beat this guy, You can finish this guy,
And I saw you went to the Walking Dead house. Are you a big fan of The Walking Dead?
Yes, I'm a big fan. The first and the second and the third season, I'm big fan, and I start walking in the street here, and I check in the Google. Oh, this is near. Going to walk into until this his house.
How do you think you do in a zombie apocalypse?
I'm a fighter. I need to buy one como que é arma? Gun, and yeah. I don't know.
Thank you.
You mentioned that you're very familiar with Marcin. What do you expect him to bring to the table?
O que você é bem similar ao jogo? O que você imagina que vai acontecer?
He's a very good grappler, he have a lot of real hooks, but I believe my game, my style, I put a lot of pressure in my all fights, and this fight is the same way. I'm gonna put the pressure, try to finish or TKO him,
Definitely.
But he's a very good wrestler. He's a not very good wrestler, but his jiu-jitsu is good,
Definitely. And you both share a common opponent coming off of a loss to Olivier.
Yeah.
What did you learn from his matchup with Olivier versus yours?
Because Olivier is southpaw Olivier, canhoto, né? He's a southpaw, and he's don't fight very well like the southpaw guys. And I fought in two, like southpaw and orthodox,
Thank you.
The same, I fought against Olivier in the third round, southpaw, and he's not like to fight against another guy southpaw, I understand between the fights, All right, guys. Thanks so much. Vamos fazer lá.
I do his things too. I have one more question for you back here.
For sure.
That controversial loss with Aubin-Mercier, and you're also fighting Held, who is someone you fought before, and he got the judge's nod. So how does that impact your mentality coming into this fight and avenging that loss and getting closer to being like a 3-time champion?
Eu acho que eu entendi, mas só
Ele perguntou
double check.
Que você veio você lutou de uma autopressão contra o Vest, que na verdade talvez você ganhou a luta. Aí ele perguntou como você tá vindo disso. Parece que a pergunta que fez
Yes, I was sad after this fight, because in my opinion, my last fight, in my opinion, I won the fight, and after that I was sad, like, oh shit, bro, I won the fight, but the judges is like not agree, But for this fight, I've trained very hard, And my camp is amazing. I train with my coaches, my coach, Parrumpa, Catel, Macarrão, VV, my coach, the wrestling coach, Moko. I train a lot, and I fought against Marcin, and I know how can I fight against him, and how can I finish him or won this fight,
And I also want to ask, you mentioned you learned from your last fight, wanting to finish your opponents faster, and you also said that you've kind of gotten a beat on your opponent, you feel. So how do you feel like ideally, how would you want to finish him?
How do you want? Maybe take him down, and try to finish my rear naked choke or katagatame, because I have a good katagatame, and I can try to finish, because my jiu-jitsu is good, and I can finish him, but I need to take him down and try to finish. It's scary if he's heel hook, but this is the part of the game. But I can. Or maybe my kicks in his head or his body,
Yeah. And just the last question
No problem.
is, you mentioned also your opponent, he has a repertoire for his ground game, especially his jiu-jitsu. How confident are you feeling with your own ground game against his?
in the first fight, I fought just like boxing, Muay Thai, but in this fight, I'm gonna try to take him down, and finishing with my jiu-jitsu, try to use my wrestling, my judo, and yeah.
Okay. Thank
All
you very
right,
much,
thank
sir.
you, my friend.
I just have a question for you back here.
Yeah.
And then I think Diego's gonna do, you want it back here?
Okay.
And then you're gonna wanna hold that microphone.
Va a sacar el micrófono.
What is is on? Or
It's on, yeah, you're good.
Emiliano, how you feeling?
I'm good.
A couple days before the fight, how's your body? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I think it's too much better for my last fight.
Awesome. Let's talk about your last fight. It obviously didn't go your way. I just want to know what you took from that fight.
Que en la última pelea no ganaste, pero ¿qué aprendiste de esa pelea?
Very much. I fight with an injury in my knee. The guy switched my opponent maybe 3 days after fight. My first opponent is a wrestler that knows a good kickers, and Corey, he's a very good, put a very, very, very good leg kick in me. I have my LC cut, but okay, it's no excuse. Fight is fight. I'm coming out too much, mucho más preparado.
I'm coming to this fight much more prepared.
Yeah.
Did you say that you injured your knee before the fight or during the fight?
No, before the fight.
Before the fight?
1 month or 3 weeks before.
Was there ever a thought in your head of maybe to pull out of the fight, or was it you were going to fight no matter what?
No, never. I fight it. I love a fight.
Gotcha. Let's talk about your opponent on Friday. Dylan, what do you think of him as an opponent?
I like it. I like his style. He's a very aggressive. I think he's perfect for my game. I have a very, very good counters. He go forward like a crazy, but I think I like the fight.
Did you watch his last fight?
I watch.
What did you think of it?
My fight or
His fight?
It's a very short fight. It's a seconds. But he fight. He's your style. He's go crazy, go forward every time.
Awesome. And then just finally, at the end of the day, how do you get your hand raised?
¿Y cómo vas a ganar esta pelea?
I don't know. In my mind, it's for knockout, but win it's okay. For points, for decision or knockout submission. One fight is amazing.
You mentioned that you didn't even think about pulling out of the fight due to the injury. You thought you were going to fight no matter what. But just the fact that there's a season and there's not as many options. Like if you were to pull out, you wouldn't have as many options to kind of make that up. Does that kind of play into your mind when you're thinking about taking a fight or not?
Que nunca pensaste de salir de la pelea, pero es parte de la liga que nada, tenemos las fechas y tienes que pelear. Entonces, eso fue parte de tu decisión sabiendo que tenías tus fechas.
Yeah, of course. It's tournament. I need 1 opponent. I now need 6, but maybe I win at the last for 4 points. Maybe 3 points is good, but I now need 6 or need the other guy lost or draw. I think that fighting the tournament is tough. You fight 7 weeks fight, 7 week fight, 7 week fight. It's hard, but I like it.
Who do you predict will be in the finals? I'm assuming yourself. Who do you see yourself facing?
¿Cuál es tu predicción de los dos peleadores que van a pelear por el campeonato este año?
Me, of course. And I don't know. I think Carlos Jr. I like this fight in the final one more time. The Brazil-Argentina.
You mentioned how important the bonus points are going to be in this fight. Are you doing anything different to prepare for an early finish?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. No, I check my preparation 100%. I'm training for my last fight in Argentina, and I moved to here in San for MMA in Florida. I'm training with a very, very good guys. 100% I'm a different fighter now.
Definitely. How is the knee feeling now going into this one?
I feel good. It's too much better, The injury is here, but I feel strong in my leg.
As someone that's been in the PFL since 2018, I'm curious, how do you think the light heavyweight roster has evolved?
I think it's the same level, No, it's too much better fighters, but I like it, It's no more wrestlers. I don't like fight with the wrestlers. I think only it's Carlos Jr., but he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He trained boxing too. I love it.
Your move to Sanford MMA, what went into that decision?
Before, for my last season, I trained in San Diego, But I have maybe 1 or 2 guys for training. I need to move every day to train with Phil Davis. He's a very, very good fighter. But I have only one. In Sanford, I have maybe more than 20, you know? It's very different. It's cool.
Do you like training at Stanford?
I love it. It's very good gym. Yeah.
And then finally, late last year, there was some footage of you and Sean Strickland sparring.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know how is it sparring with him? Like it's just so crazy.
I like it. He's crazy. Yeah. I think he have a real problem in the head. But I like his Sean. He's a good guy. Yeah. He's funny.
Who at Sanford would you say you train with most to emulate Dylan and his style?
Okay, ¿quién en tu gimnasio en Stanford tiene el estilo más como cerca?
I don't know, man. I train with a Tyron Sprong, kickboxing. I think he's a number one striker in the world. You know, I train so many rounds with him and all the guys more. You know, but Tyron Sprong is a number one.
Speaking of striking, on the path to your 2019 championship, you amassed like a high number of KO and TKO victories. Coming into this fight, you actually enjoy like a pretty sizable reach advantage. Are you aiming for like a KO or TKO in this fight in particular? Or?
KO, of course. Yeah, esa idea, ¿no?
Yeah.
Mencionaste que te gustaría pelear con Carlos Jr. en la final. Hasta eso es de por sí que es la rivalidad de Brasil y Argentina, o hay unas rivalidades que sea por nacionalidad que te motivan más o no sé, sacan algo más de ti.
No, la verdad que es mi amigo, entrenábamos juntos antes, me llevo muy bien con él, estos días siempre estamos divirtiéndonos, pero él me ganó una pelea, le quiero ganar yo una a él también. Ready?
Ready?
I just have one question for you in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, in this And then if you can grab that microphone that's there on the chair. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right, well, you may have the hardest path in this PFL. What do you think of that? Like, what does that say about you as a person?
I think it says that as a person, I'm just ready to take risks. You know, you have to take risks if you want to grow as a person and as an athlete in particular in this sport. So, like, I mean, it's a win-win for me. Like, you know, I love challenges, and I love taking away what you get from those challenges. So bring it on, basically.
What did you take away from your last challenge?
I learned a hell of a lot about myself, and I took a lot away from being in there and feeling an opponent like Anthony Pettis. Like, he's been like to the heights of the sport, so to get that feel, to be in there with him, and also I know that I have a much more vast skill set than that. Just froze a little bit in certain scenarios because look, 3.5 year layoff, like, long bleeding time. So so they're the two things I took from it: the feel of the opponent and the shake off to bring into this fight.
And what were your first thoughts when you got your next opponent?
Great, looking forward to it.
Do you think you're gonna have another, there will be another fight of the year kind of performance? Like that, what you're kind of expecting for this fight?
No, I hope it's like really boring. I choke him out in 10 seconds. That'd be great.
Awesome. And who do you see in the finals?
Me,
And?
Anthony Pettis for a rematch.
Okay. How do you see that second fight going?
For me, probably overwhelming him with strikes or taking him down and TKO finish ground and pound.
Awesome. Thank you.
What did you think of Jeremy Stevens' first fight with Clay Collard?
I thought it was great. I watched it as like a fan, and I was like, wow, that was like an unreal fight.
Were you surprised that neither of them went down and it was a 3-round just rock and sock them?
No, because the two of them have great chins, so I assumed that they were going to be able to take each other's shots and kind of just have a barn burner, which happened. So yeah, it was really entertaining though, wasn't it?
So, first 2 fights in the PFL, 2 former UFC fighters. I mean, do you think that just kind of shows what the PFL thinks of you?
Yeah, they see me as a tough opponent. Like, it's that simple, you know. They know that I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready to step in there and take the challenge too, you know. I would have preferred it the other way around, really, because I'd like to have built up to Anthony Pettis. But, you know, tomatoes. I got to fizzle out the opponent and focus on me. It's not what they're doing, it's what I'm doing, you know. So I got to take every single opportunity, and I'm really grateful to PFL for the opportunity. They're an amazing promotion, and whatever they give me, I'll take advantage of, you know.
Looking forward, the next 3 events are New York, Wales,
Ireland.
London.
No.
Which of those 3 would you like to get on?
So, sorry, New York, Wales, London.
Yes.
New York. Come on. You go there, of course. Yeah, New York.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to London as well, but yeah, New York would be the top, and then I've fought in London before, so probably London then Wales. Yeah.
What's wrong with Wales?
Nothing's wrong with Wales.
No,
It's not wrong with Wales. Everybody from Wales is watching right now. Love you guys. Bringing that up.
And then you have a bunch of cool tattoos. I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to kind of know which one is your favorite, and then what is that tattoo?
This is like a gorilla and a human, so like kind of a morph, you know, the way there's the primal kind of thing with the martial arts and the competing as well. I probably like these tattoos. They're that's my granddad's nickname, Sonny, and that's my nana's nickname, Kitty, and it's a little pet pig. She had loads of pet pigs. So.
Awesome.
You mentioned your long layoff led you to be a little gun shy going into that Anthony Pettis fight. You have now the shortest turnaround between any fighter in the PFL season. Do you think that's going to play to your advantage?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Because the layoff, like, you know, it's a nervous system thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? No matter how much I mentally and physically prepared, because I really did, like, I mean, to the best of my ability. When you're in that stressful environment, like, there's only 3 things your nervous system's going to do. It's either going to fight, flight, or freeze. And you can't fight because you're locked in a cage, aren't you? You know, so there's moments where I froze a little bit more than I would have ever really in my previous fights. Like, it reminded me kind of at the start of my career when I was like really just getting into the swing of things. So for me to have a quick turnaround, I felt like I was blessed. I wanted the quick turnaround, to be honest, you know.
Did you change your approach at all in this camp? Did you maybe do more sparring to try and get that feeling back, or?
No, because I did loads of sparring leading up to the last one. So, and it's really important if you have quick turnarounds. Like I was managing a peak. I wasn't building up to a peak. So I couldn't go in there and try and make up for something just because I lost. The being in there in the competition itself helped me get that shake off. So immediately the week after and getting into sparring again, I felt like a different athlete already. I felt like a different martial artist, you know. So I just continued the same format and focused a little bit more on recovery in my harder days of sparring.
I was going to say, Jeremy Stephens is the second highest favorite on this card. Does that maybe fuel your motivation being the underdog coming into this one?
But that's the first I've heard. Like, I don't listen to any of that stuff, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, MMA is absolutely mental. Like, there's so many ways to win and there's so many ways to lose. And at the end of the day, like, that's not really useful information for me. Like, it doesn't play into anything. So, no, I don't care about that at all, really.
You mentioned, watching the Collar fight, and obviously, like, that was a great fight. But I don't know if you caught Stephens right after the fight. He actually said that for his next fight, he would promise a knockout victory. I don't know if, like, how much of a threat is his knockout power to you? Did you take that into account in your training camp?
Oh, of course. Well, I wouldn't have taken it into my training camp, really. I take a couple of general things, like the gist of things. I mean, it's not rocket science, like, to look at him and go, right, he likes to stand, he gets a bit emotional, and he likes to bang, you know what I mean? So, I mean, if he wants to put that expectation on himself, then that's fine, but that only plays into my favor, I can use that against him. So if he wants to bring that in, that's fixed, that's not flexible, and I don't compete like that when I'm on form, so.
Yeah. And just a question is, like, what kind of statement are you trying to make when you're, like, obviously, if you defeat Jeremy Stephens, like, if you have to verbalize it in a sentence, what kind of statement?
What kind of statement? Destruction.
Destruction, okay.
A little bit hardcore. Usually I don't say that. Good? Okay, great. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate that.
I have one more question for you in the back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, yeah.
You guys are cozy, eh? Fucking lucky.
It's kind of cold outside, man.
Yeah.
Can you grab that microphone, please?
Olivier, how are you?
I'm good.
A couple days before the fight, man.
Do I need to talk in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good.
Awesome, man. I mean, it's been 2 months since your fight. I just wanted to know, like, your thoughts on that performance. We had Natan in earlier. He said he still feels he won that fight. How did you feel about the performance?
It's such a weird question because he feel he won that fight. I feel I won that fight. 2 judges failed. I won that fight, and 1 judge failed. He won that fight, so who give a shit? Like, who give a shit? Right? Seriously, like, who give a shit? I think it could have been any one of us who won this fight. It was a tight fight, but at the end of the day, I won. I mean, he had some fight in the PFL that people thought he lost, but he won the $1 million instead. So who cares? Like, to be honest, who cares? Like, if you win, if you lose, it's done. It's done. Now he have to look at his next fight, and if you want to fight me again this season, he need to probably win in the first round. So I think it's useless to think about that. It's useless for me, and it's useless for him. It's not useless for you guys, that's for sure. But for us, I think it's useless. Yeah.
You don't have a graphic tee on. It's kind of just plain this time.
Yeah. I was thinking about putting my good old Arnie is a number 1 Uno.
Yeah, where is it?
It's in my room, but I said, yeah, fuck, they're gonna think I just have 1 T-shirt. So I decided to go Koala. It's a company from Montreal that is really plain. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like being more flashy. Sometimes I feel that this is the best way to put myself. I'm a really big fan of the Japanese streetwear, but no, I guess not today. So next time maybe.
Well, you look good either way.
You're fucking guy. Yeah.
Raush, man. So you're fighting last year's champion. I guess how excited are you that you're getting him in the second round, and then just kind of your thoughts on the matchup?
I think it's a pretty weird matchup that PFL did. I did an interview with this guy talking about that. But yeah, I think it's a weird matchup. But at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna fight everybody in the division. All the best guys, I'm gonna fight them since it's a tournament. So I don't care fighting them right now or after. But I do feel a little bit bad for Manfio. Since I think he deserved to do the tournament. But other than that, like, who cares, you know? It's just that the feeling I got, I think the 4 best guy were me, Schulte, Manfio, and probably Collard in the division. And I think we should have the 4 of us done the tournament. But I don't think the best guy is going to be in the tournament this year, since I'm fighting Manfio and I fought Schulte already. So I think it's a weird matchup, like I said. I don't understand really why there's 4 winners that fight winners and 1 of them fight a losers. I don't want to take anything away from the loser, but I think every winner should fight a loser. It's not fair if that is not the case. And the same thing goes for the losers. I think they should all fight the winners. Now there's just 1 of them who fight a winners, and which is Stevie Ray. And not only does he fight a winner, but he fight after everybody. So it's I think it's kind of unfair for him. I think it's kind of unfair for what is his name, Miles, the one who fought Pettis. I think Miles is in the worst spot. I mean, I just saw him just before. He's a pretty big guy, and to make his weight twice in a month and a half, it's pretty brutal. So I don't think it's fair for him. But you know, life is unfair, and we still have the opportunity. So I think we are lucky to have this opportunity with the PFL. So yeah, I think that's my thought. Was it okay?
Yeah, that was fantastic. And finally, just for you, how does it feel to be back competing? You're on a schedule after sitting out
sitting out last year. Now you're competing. You're ready to go. Just how are you feeling?
Well, I mean, I'm that's what, my fourth fight in 2 years. So maybe it's the question is a little bit outdated, but what I feel crazy about this year is I'm probably gonna be sober longer than not this year, and that's since I'm 16. So, so I think it's crazy that this year I will be more sober than not sober, since I have to fight so many times, and I stopped drinking 1 month before a fight. So it's I think it's pretty interesting. Like last fight, I went crazy for a week or two, and then straight to the gym again. And to be completely honest, I feel that maybe all the past year I was doing it wrong. I think it's a lot better to go back straight away to the gym. I don't want a sponsor, but I have like this Oura ring that tell me all the statistic of my body, and it's crazy how the difference it make. Like I beat all my record this training camp, and last training camp I was beating everything. Now I'm beating everything, and probably next one I'm gonna beat everything again. So my heart rate at rest never been that low. My sleep is good, my weight is good, so it's pretty interesting to see, and it's exciting too. You know, I feel that I did everything wrong for the last 10 years. Maybe I was partying a little bit too much in between fights. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
Going back to your last fight, judges, there's a hot topic right now about open scoring, and I'm just curious what your thought is about that.
I think the open scoring would be better for fighters, but it would be not as good for the show, and it's show business. So I do think it should stay like this. But for sure, for us fighters, it would be a lot better to make it open. But it's for the show. I mean, it's show business. Like, yeah, it's cool to make a living from a sport, but the truth is we do it for other people. We do it for people that look at it, and it's much more exciting when you don't know the outcome. Much more exciting. It's much more exciting for everything, for betting, for to watch the fight. So I do think it should stay like this. But do I think it would be better for fighters? Yeah, of course.
What if there was a way for you guys to see the scores, but not the public to see the scores?
Well,
then it would be semi-open scoring.
Yeah. So I don't think that's possible, because the betting perspective is so big, and it would be too complicated. Too complicated. We have to understand that the betting in sport is so big. There's so much money in there, and probably if there was no betting, there wouldn't be no sport. And I mean, it's too important. So I don't think it's possible. I think there's already enough gangster in sports, and if we want more gangster, we should do your idea, and I don't think that's a good idea.
And then just a fun one. Who do you see in the finals? I'm assuming you're on one side. Who are you facing?
After Manfio, I do think Color is the best. Yeah, I do think Color. Well, I mean, he beat Pettis, and I think it's pretty clear what PFL want. They want Stephens and Pettis in the tournament, and it's completely understandable. If I was the Ray, I would think the same. I think that these two are the two biggest names, and you want them to be on the tournament to make PFL grow. But I do not think both of them are the best. I think Color beat them. Well, he already beat them, but I think Color in final would be a really tough match.
Thank you.
You mentioned how influential betting is for the sport. Are you ever aware of the odds going in, and have you ever considered betting on yourself?
I never consider betting on myself, because every fight I bet on myself. In the meaning that if I lose half my half my pay, so it's already a pretty big bet. I remember last UFC fight, people were like, "Oh, you should bet on yourself. Like you're a plus 200." Like, bro, I don't know, man. If I lose, I'm already losing $33,000. So I think I'm gonna take it easy on this one. But yeah, no, I never bet on myself. I'm sponsored by Bet99, so I follow all the bets and everything, and actually do a podcast about that. I think it's a really interesting way to watch the fight, and it's like if you want to win with betting, it's really complicated. I think people do not understand how hard it is to win at the end of the year. But yeah, no, I never thought about betting for myself, and of course, I never thought about betting against myself. But yeah, I would have liked to be at the PFL event 6 months ago.
Was it pre-recorded?
Yeah, the pre-recorded one. I would be happy.
Raush has a habit of keeping every fight razor close. You're coming off of a split decision. Do you have any difference in your game plan as to separate yourself in the octagon?
It's pretty funny. I think you're the first one that see that from all the interview I did. Everybody was telling me about the big KO he did last fight, and they were like, "Oh, are you scared of his KO power?" I was like, "Bro, he's not known for his KO power. He's known for stealing round, stealing laser, like how do you say that? Closer.
The razor
thin round. So he's really good at stealing those, and I think that's the big thing. I have to be careful. I think I have to. It have to be clear that I win every round. But yeah, for sure, it's gonna be a different fight. Him and Schulte have a really different style, and I don't even think you're gonna be able to compare the two styles I'm gonna have in the cage for this fight. It's gonna be like so much, even from the other fight. I mean, Manfio is so different than everybody I fought, and I said that before. He's such a gamer. Like if you go toe to toe with him, he go to toe to toe. If you want to play the waiting game, he's playing the waiting game. You have some power. I mean, he KO'd the match last fight, but he hurt a lot of his last opponent. I think he hurt Perez, who was at the time concussed maybe 3 times by colored, but still he hurt him, and he hurt Loic too in the final. But I do think his best performance last year was against Loic. But yeah, he's a tricky fighter. Manfio is a really tricky fighter. I really think I should have fought him in the tournament.
Thank you.
I was going to ask, when you kind of compare Raush and your resumes, obviously I think it's a no-brainer that you've fought the tougher opponents. You've gained a lot more experience. Do you think that's something that's going to give you an advantage coming into this fight?
I don't think he's going to give me an advantage, but I do think I fought a better guy from them than him, and I fought better guy that he fought too. So an advantage? I don't think so. I don't think there's an advantage. I mean, every up and comer at that point, like they didn't fight anybody big until they fight the big guy and they KO'd him. Like we can remember Conor McGregor, that everybody was saying he have no experience compared to Aldo, but he knocked him out in 10 seconds. So no, I don't think there's an advantage. I think he probably, well, both of us are coming in this fight with a lot of come on, how do you say that? Like we are sure we're gonna win. Confidence, because we are the only 2 guys in the division that are undefeated in PFL. He didn't win. He didn't lose last year. I didn't lose last year. I'm 3-0 in the PFL. I think he's 4-0 in the PFL. So yeah, it's easy for 4-0. Yeah, 4-0. So I think it's really no, it's 5-0 in the PFL. So I think it's a really interesting matchup, and I think I do think for big fans it's the best fight of the night. You know, I really think so.
I wanted to ask, your last opponent, Schulte, was actually Manfio's, friend and training partner.
Yeah.
So is there anything you learned in your fight with him that you think is going to be applicable in this upcoming fight?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, those two guys have two different style. The thing with Schulte, he was really weaponizing his cardio and his shin. Shin is this? Chin. Okay, chin. So he was really good to weaponize those two things. And Manfio is not the same. He's truly not the same. He have really, really good cardio, but he's really, really not the same. So I think it's going to be different. Did I learn anything? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, I'm so different than GSP. I'm so different than everybody, but they train at the same gym as I am. So best example is me and Mendel Nalo from the Bellator. Like there's two opposite styles, but we're at the same gym. Doesn't mean that if somebody fight me, he's gonna know something crazy about Mendel. So no, I don't think I have any advantage with that.
Okay. And obviously, Schulte was also like the 2019 champion, a two-time champion. So coming off a win off of that, does that give you some sort of like confidence boost or change your mentality, fighting the 2021 champion?
Yeah, well, like I said that I think in my last interview, in my last fight, I really think Schulte is one of the toughest opponent in the division. Manfio is up there too, but I do think Schulte was a more trickier fighter. But yeah, I mean, confidence. Like what's confidence? I think I'm done with being confident. I'm just doing it because I like it right now. And I was a little bit stressed during my last fight because I was truly like not stressed. So I was stressing for not stressing. I was like, well, like I'm fighting in 30 minutes and I don't care. Like I just want to be here and fight the guy and be in vacation after. And it was a really weird experience. And I think I feel the same this time. I just want it to happen. That's it. Like I was always scared of that moment before, but now I just want it to happen. And I think it's really interesting. Maybe it's because of the PFL format that you have to fight really close, quickly every fight. So right now I'm just looking for the next fight so I can fight after. So it's an interesting shift of mentality. I find for me the last it started last fight actually. But yeah, I don't remember the question, but I think that's my answer.
Okay. And last question is just, what kind of statement are you trying to make by beating Manfio?
Oh, I think if I beat Manfio, like everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's it?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
I just have a question for you in the back.
Oh, fuck.
It's for social media. You should be scared. You should be scared.
Did I grab the?
Yes, if you can grab the microphone, please.
Okay.
Just give me a close.
The mullet's flowing pretty well. The other guys thought the mullets were cool, so I got to keep it consistent.
Josh, how are you?
Great, man. Is right here good?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good. You're good. Fantastic gear, bro.
Thank you. Barbarian style.
And also mullet. What went into the decision to do that?
I think, we gave it a try and it started growing, and then I was like, let's leave it, basically. It's cool. I'm trying to do some fun stuff with my hair before I get too old. So I'm not like a 35-year-old with a mullet. So while I'm in the 20s, still kind of rock it, right?
Yeah, fantastic. A couple days before your fight, how's the body? How you feeling?
I feel great. Obviously, I came from the 185-pound weight class, so the weight cut's not bad at all. The process has started. You think about visualization and stuff like that, and you could prepare for the fight. The only thing you can't do is speed up the time. So I'm just enjoying my days here in Atlanta and just counting down the clock to ready to go to war.
So you were supposed to fight in Dallas, pulled out with an injury. Can you share what the injury was?
So I basically separated my AC joint. It runs along the collarbone. It's one of the few injuries where the bone kind of goes out of place and you don't need surgery. Surgery is actually not recommended. So it took me 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and we were back on the horse, man. You consider this was like 2 camps in one. So,
how disappointed were you?
I was disappointed, like my dad says, man, go cry, but don't cry for too long because that's not going to do shit for you. But I was disappointed, but then, I started rebuilding my mentality and there's things like this, things happen, happens for a reason. So I'm just blessed to be here and healthy again, and be able to fight in the PFL for the second round,
Yeah, so let's talk about it, man. Martin Hamlet, tough guy. He was in the finals last year. What do you think of the matchup?
I think the matchup's good, man. On paper, it's a good matchup. He's a wrestler. I'm a wrestler, He's like a Greco guy. I wrestled folk style. I think I have a little bit more to offer in the wrestling department. I think I have more to offer in the stand-up department. I was raised with MMA. I have jiu-jitsu in my background too, in the back pocket. So I just think he's a great fighter. I just think I'm better, man. Just flat out better, faster, more agile. And like I say to everyone, man, when you fight me for the first time, you're going to feel something different. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Norwegian wrestling, Arizona State wrestling.
Let's go. Come on. Arizona. Where are my Sun Devils at? We're a great school. We got Zeke Jones there, ex-USA Olympic coach. I just had greatness my whole life, man. Greatness around me, flowing through me, my dad. And this is it. This is what we work for,
And finally, man, for anybody who has not seen your fight style, right? Maybe they only saw your PFL Challenger fight. How does Josh Silveira fight?
We like to say I play the drums, man. I don't just kind of play one little. We're playing the drums. It's everything. There's not plan A, B, or C. It's all one whole plan, Whatever the fight, I'm always ready for the war. But if the fight finishes early, then awesome, My style is wherever it goes. We're on our feet. We go to the ground. Just don't take me for a wrestler, I will try to kick you in the head too, and strike up top. So I'm just comfortable, man. I'm just a comfortable fighter, I'm meant to be in there.
I was going to ask, obviously, because on the topic of Martin Hamlet being a championship contender, what message do you think it sends to the rest of the division when you get your hand raised on Friday night?
I think the division's already kind of got their eye on me, I've already trained with guys that were in the PFL season, so I've always been around, Shoeface is my teammate. Omari and I have scrapped plenty of times. And even the other guys in the different weight classes, I've been around the environment, so I think they're not going to be that surprised when I beat Hamlet. They're going to be expected of it to happen, and I think they're going to try to find a way to, stop my style or whatever. But, like I said, everyone knows kind of how I fight, how I do it. The thing is, can you stop it? So let's see when that time comes.
And then obviously winning the Challenger Series. What are the emotions like when you get selected and get brought onto the roster?
They called me basically 2 days later and told me. So those 48 hours, I was a little like, man, that's like, Brucey got the damn knee. God damn it. I was like, why didn't I go knee the guy in the face? But I got the finish, and they called me 2 days later. And of course, man, I freaking had that feeling of like I could go, I'm part of not even the $1 million. I could go continue my career, in the big leagues and go start the next phase of my life. It's just exciting because I've been doing this since I was a baby, man, literally a baby. So now I could kind of determine my future a little bit, obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but it feels awesome when they gave me that phone call.
Martinez showed off a lot of top pressure in his first fight. Do you think he's going to be willing to initiate the grappling, knowing how skilled you are in that department?
I think it's a very natural thing for him to go to his grappling, from the fights I've seen him, he doesn't really like attack the legs. He kind of just tackles, and all the guys he's fought, they weren't straight grapplers. The only one was my teammate, and he got choked. So it's like, I'm not sure what to expect. I know he wants points too. So, and he's a big, strong guy. So I'm always expecting, the unexpected, but I think he's going to go to his natural way, and he's going to try to wrestle. It's going to have, just won't turn into a fighter and overnight. I think he's got to force the wrestling, and that's when we start swimming to the deep end, and we see who could tread the water longer. So,
with you being down points, is a finish? It has to happen.
Yeah, in my mind, it has to happen, but smart first. I'm not going to try to force the finish and then go lose a fight. I'm undefeated. That's a good perk on my side. So let's try to maintain that. Go finish this fight. Put the pressure. And the way I fight, I get finishes. The one fight I didn't finish, it was a 5-round fight, and I was debating in my mind, should I turn it up or should I just kind of coast? And I picked my choice to just go fight 5 rounds, get that experience. But I'm a finisher. It'll just happen with a matter of time.
And then finally, an American top team legend, retired Joanna. I just want your thoughts on her retirement.
Man, the champ, man. We call her champ because she's something else. I'm sure you guys felt when she retired. I know she lost. It was a spinning back elbow fist. It's rough to see her go out like that, but man, she put on so much performances for us, right? Like that sound effect, like a little gremlin. So I think that's great. I think she paid her dues, right? She's a top-notch fighter. She's not gonna go be a gatekeeper, or she's gonna go enjoy herself, man. She did plenty of wars, plenty of battles. Everyone saw that first fight. Come on, who would come back and do that again? So I think my hat's off to her. I tip my hat off to her, and I congratulate her and for paving the way for guys like me and other fighters. So she's great.
I want to say, obviously you're currently on a pretty impressive 8-fight win streak,
Mm-hmm.
and half of them are actually by submission via rear naked choke. How susceptible do you think your opponent is to that technique?
I think he's very I can't pronounce that word. Susceptible. Yeah, I think he is very susceptible to it. My buddy Shoeface choked him out, and that's how I like to roll. It's a very low risk choke. I don't lose the position, and the best part about it is they give you the back. I don't go taking back. I wait for you to give me the back, and usually when someone's giving you the back is because we have these rules when we go in there, right? How to stand, chin down, hands up, chin down. When you get tired, those rules start to go out the window. And I think it's just a matter of time where he's going to start to do things that feel natural to him. And that's where I'll capitalize, and I could definitely see a rear naked happening.
Okay. You also mentioned, when you're in the cage, you kind of like you're playing the drums, you're kind of going with the flow.
Going with the flow. Yeah.
But you also said, you're kind of aiming for a finish. You're not going to rush it.
Yeah.
So ideally, is there like a certain finish that you would like, for your opponent?
Yeah, head kick. I love head kicks, man. It's nice. It smacks off the head. It gets that, blood going. Of course, that's like in a perfect world, but I'm ready for anything, man. I'm ready for any sort of finish. The only thing I will not do is I won't. My IQ level is not going to go down because I'm dying to go after him, and I'm going to tire myself out, in a matter of a minute and go crazy berserker style. That's not me. I keep a good IQ, get the job done, whether it's a war or it's nice and smooth.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Joshua, fazer em português aqui.
Ah, tá bom, beleza. Você quer passar mais aqui? Boa. Quem aí dessa vez?
Tá ali atrás.
É mesmo? Rapaz.
You still
Get
want
this
to
one?
go first?
No. At least you better do this one.
Me first? How are you?
I'm great.
How are you enjoying Atlanta?
Oh man, I love Atlanta. You know, I have some friends from here. You know, Ron Jucão. So it's a good place, good environment here.
Awesome. A few days from the fight. How you feeling? How's your body feeling?
Well, body feeling good. You know, I'm not cutting a lot of weight anymore. You know, so fighting 205 is like I'm feeling heaven. Just like cutting 15 pounds, so just ready for fight.
With the move up to light heavyweight, are you putting on more weight so that the cut will get harder, or no?
Not really. You know, I just walk around the same way I used to. You know, walk around when I used to fight 185. I walk around like 218, 220, something like this. So just the same. You know, just less work now to cut this weight.
Awesome. Your last fight did not last long. Was that the plan? Like, did you think it was gonna be a quick fight?
I thought it could be. You know what I mean? I think just be ready when the chance present itself, and it did. You know, I didn't let it go. So I get the submission. You know, finish fast. Get the 6 points. Now I don't need to worry a lot about the points or whatever. Just about the fight, just the winning. You know, what can I do to get a winning on next Friday?
Awesome. With Bruce, how do you like the matchup?
I think it's a good matchup. You know, everybody here is good. You know, and if you want to be the champion, you cannot choose your opponents. You know, you're gonna face not everybody, but you're gonna face the toughest guys in the division. So he's a tough guy. You know, he's good in the ground. He's good in the striking. So he's just paying attention in everything he's moving. You know, good eyes, and doing the cage, everything that we been doing. You know, these months at the gym. I think it's gonna work out. We're gonna get this win.
What did you think of his last fight?
I think he exposed himself a lot. You know what I mean? He liked to brawl sometimes. So these you get a little exposed, and that what I think happened. You know, when you're in the light heavyweight, and some hand catch you it's kind of hard to hold. You know what I mean? So yeah, you need to be a little more aware.
Your teammate Josh is finally fighting on the PFL. How excited are you that you get to share a card with him?
Oh, it's great, man. It's great. I'm sharing the card with 4 guys. You know what I mean? So it's me, besides me, there's Josh, Omari, Raush, and Natan. So creates a good environment here. You know what I mean? We bring the good energy. We all training together, supporting each other. So this is really great. And seeing Josh fighting is awesome. You know, it's gonna be his first fight in the PFL. He's gonna be fighting with Hamlet. You know, some that I'm already know because we fought last year. You know, for the belt. So his father, Conan, my head coach, also know his game. So we always train together. Supporting each other at the gym. So it's gonna be pretty nice to watch him fight.
Did you give Josh any tips?
For sure. We always exchange some knowledge. Especially if, you already fought the guy your friend is fighting. So, you're going to give him the feeling, what I felt in the fight and stuff. And I definitely did a little bit.
Another American top team legend retired, Joanna. I just wanted your thoughts on her retirement.
Yeah, I love to see her fighting more, you know what I mean? But I know it's a big decision for her. It's not easy. But I think the feeling of becoming a mother is bigger, and I support her. She's a legend. Great fighter. Great human being. I just whatever she wants to do, we're gonna support. She was always a great teammate. Always like supporting everybody. Giving a good energy. He texted me today. Let's go, show face, and it's always great. And just wish like a great life. Great motherhood, and that's it.
And finally, we got another Clay Collar main event, but when are we going to get a shoe face main event?
I don't know, man. I hope I hope soon. You know what I mean? Well, the last fight I was not on the co-main. Now I'm the co-main. Maybe the next one we're gonna be the main event.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, man.
When you come off of a fight that ends in just seconds, does that add pressure? Because now people are going to be expecting that every time, and that's not something you can keep delivering, right? What's that feel like?
Not at all. I don't put pressure on myself, especially because I don't go for a fight looking for like a first round finish or knockout, whatever. I just I go for a fight to get the winning. I go to the fight to fight 3 or 5 rounds. So I don't think about it. I don't put this pressure on myself. There is a lot of pressure already. In the on the fight. So it's just go there. Do everything that you did at the gym. If the chance presents, get it.
Who do you see in the finals? I'm assuming you're on one side. Who do you think you'll be facing?
Hard to tell. I think Omari. My great brother too. I don't wanna, fight him in the playoffs. We just gonna fight we want to fight if it's for the belt. So it's then we're gonna fight, and I think he's going to the final. We train a lot, and I know how tough he is. So I think it's gonna be him.
If it was the two of you, would there have to be like a separation of training camp, or how would you?
I don't know. We train together, even here. We supporting each other. We training together. We always train together. Maybe if we fight each other, we do a different camp. But I don't think this is gonna happen. That is a good environment. He's a friend. He's not just somebody that I know. He's a friend, somebody that I really like. It's gonna be hard to fight him because, it's not just fighting. It's a little emotional fighting a friend.
Thank you.
You're sitting as comfortably as possible with 6 points at the top of the division. Are you approaching this fight any differently, knowing that you don't need any extra points?
I think just the pressure, there's not much pressure about the points. Not that feeling about expect what's gonna happen in the division, So I just need to go there and get this winning. So I think if you see the scenario now, I just need to go there and win the fight. Even if it's by points, whatever. We go into the playoffs.
Are you expecting a bit of a rushed approach from your opponent, knowing that they need extra points now?
Definitely. Because if he wants to go to the playoffs, he need it. He need the 6 points. So the first round, he's gonna come for the all win. You know what I mean? So I'll be aware in the first round, especially. Because I know he wants to, keep in the tournament.
I was down at the Atlanta location for American Top Team last week getting some sparring in, and I know Jukal's super excited that all of you guys are on the card. Have you seen him this week? We got maybe any working with him?
No, it didn't work, but I saw him here. We talk a lot about the time that I spent in Thailand because he loves Thailand too. We all train with Leo Elias. That's the coach that helped me a lot over there in Thailand. He's also a great friend, always help me out when we are together. We always train together. He loves training, he loves what he does. And for sure he's gonna be here. He's gonna be watching, and I hope we're gonna celebrate at the end.
I was gonna say, ever since you have joined the PFL, you've dominated, you're undefeated. What things do you think have changed to allow you to just kind of dominate the opposition that they put in front of you?
Well, first thing that changed was the weight division. I don't lost a lot of weight anymore, and this makes a big difference. Man, physically makes a big difference. Emotionally, it's pretty hard to do to lose a lot of weight. It messes with my emotional. You know what I mean? Now I'm more confident. Because I feel in the fight the same way I feel in the gym. When I used to fight 185, I didn't feel the same because I feel like a full energy at the gym. When I get in the fight, I felt a little sick. You know what I mean? Like a little weak. Was not the same because I used to lose like 35 pounds was a lot. You know what I mean? So now I just come from like 15 pounds to cut. It's like easy, eating normal, training, feeling like normal. You know what I mean? Doesn't change much. So this was a big difference for me for sure.
You mentioned your opponent being a bit pressured for points, and you also mentioned that they have a tendency at times to brawl. If they go out super aggressive against you, what kind of approach are you going to take to that?
I think keep the distance, keep smart, close the distance in the right time, because if he comes, he's gonna expose himself for the punches, the takedowns, the everything. You know what I mean? When you like open, you expose yourself. Everything can happen. You know what I mean? So just pay attention, keep like my eyes like sharp, and do the work.
And your past two fights, you've also finished with submissions. If you were to submit your opponent in this fight, do you have a particular favorite technique that you would like to use, or?
Not a favorite technique. Depend what he gives to me. You know what I mean? If he like give me his neck like that, maybe a guillotine, or a Darce choke, whatever. If I go to the back, a real naked choke, or I don't know, foot locks. Depend what he gonna give it to me. As I said, I never want to force anything. I just wanna see what he gonna give. What chances I gonna have, and then I won't let it go. I'm gonna get it.
And without forcing a submission, but let's say like ideally, do you have like any particular one?
Well, my favorite position is the rear naked choke. You know what I mean? So it's always some place that I feel safe. If you see most of my submissions was a rear naked choke, it's something that I do really good. I get a good back control, so I think would be the rear naked choke.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
I've got one question for you in the back too.
All right.
And then you can have Diego.
All right.
Well, we will take you.
Perfect. Hi.
Come on, Alex, you're holding us up.
I know.
My name is Alex Souza. I'm like,
Oh, no.
It's like, what did I do?
Why are you yelling
I didn't even
at
think
Yeah,
about
it's like,
that.
what did I do?
That's just how I like to yell at fighters and pretend
Yeah.
it's one of us. His name's not really Alex. No. All right. Well, besides the fact that I just yelled at you, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good, thank you. Yeah.
How is it different going into this fight week now that you're main event?
It's of course there's always a different type of pressure in every single fight. Every single fight has its own pressure. To be honest, I think it's something that we create in our own minds we kind of need as a fighters, to be honest, a little bit of pressure. I think it get us in the right state of mind to be able to fight, and it's another fight. It's just another fight. It's gonna be a main event, but it's another fight. I'm excited. So.
And what were your thoughts when you got your opponent's name?
I was like, let's go. I was ready to get a top opponent. I knew they were not gonna give me any single opponents. So I was like, you know what? I was ready for it. So, of course, it doesn't. If they gave me somebody else, it was still gonna be a really tough fight. So, I'm excited for this fight. So.
Should we anticipate a 3-round war, or are we looking at maybe a quick finish? What's kind of your game plan going in there?
Always when I go into the fight, I go prepare for a 3-round war, but I take whatever comes. Like if the knockout is there, I take it. If the submission is there, I take it. But knowing both of us, we both are very durable, very tough. We both will fight till the end. More likely a 3-round war will be on the judges' hands. But at the same time, I'm very confident on my skills, and I think I can get it done in less than 3 rounds too. So.
What are some weaknesses that you've seen in your opponent that you're willing to reveal? I don't know if you want to give away too many secrets, but.
Well, I know his classes very well. I study him along his classes, so then you just do whatever is opposite to that, and then it's he likes to come in forward a lot, so that could be something that could be exploited. So it really comes down to whether he gets reckless or not, and that could be something that I could exploit, especially with my style. But he's a very tough opponent. We, as my team, we have worked on some game plans, but at the same time, it's a fight. You go there, you do your best, and then adapt as it goes. Right? It's a fight, so you gotta adapt all the time.
And I know that it's kind of split. I hear fighters sometimes say, I don't watch tape at all, let my coaches do that. Some fighters want to be the ones watching tape. What's your philosophy with that?
Both. I watch as much as I can, and then I show to my coaches, just because in the end of the day, I'm the one who's going to go there and fight. So I want to see what type of strikings. I want to see what kind of movements. I want to see everything before going into the fight. So I watch some tapes, and then I send to my coaches, hey, man, this is what we're working with. What should we go into it? So I can do everything, and when it comes down to fighting, we prepare and we're like, okay, well, we're focusing on this and that for this fight, but at the same time we train everywhere, everything, just in case, because the fight, like I said, sometimes something doesn't work, so you gotta adapt right away.
And just a fun one, 3 of us here are from Vegas.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this weather compared to Vegas weather?
It's different for sure. Vegas is really hot, but it's dry. It is really hot, but it's suffocating. So it's like, it's just like, just the humidity, right? But at the same time, it's, I don't know. I think they both are hot. So yeah.
Does it make it easier for weight cutting when it feels like that out there? Like it's easier to sweat out? I don't know.
No, not really, because in the end of the day, I'm not gonna go outside and sweat it out. I'm gonna stay inside and go back into the top like I always do. So it really doesn't matter whether it's winter or hot. Now, if you're going to training camp with this heat, then yeah, it helps out because you're sweating a lot more. But at the same time, nowadays, everything is pretty well cooled up, and especially in Vegas where it's super hot, there's AC everywhere, so you really don't feel the heat till you get out of the buildings. So yeah.
And one last one. Who do you predict will be in the finals?
Well, of course, I predict myself, and then I like to see Olivier up there too, right? I mean, he's my friend, but so it will be a tough fight in the end. But I would love to see him in the finals. So yeah.
Thank you. As a fellow Alex, do you prefer Alex or Alexander?
I prefer Alex. Is good. Yeah, Alexander feels too modest and I like to use Alexander probably when I'm going to go and conquer something. So
Fantastic. So you get 2 former UFC fighters in a row. I guess do you think that just shows the PFL believes in you because they're giving you these names?
Yeah, it's like we talk with my coaches. They either don't like me or they love me, right? So no, I'm just joking. But no, I think they do believe in me because the first fight they gave me in PFL was a tough one. The second one was a very tough one, and then even went tougher when he got switched out again. So, like I do believe they believe in me. I think I can do it, and I believe in myself as well. So, now we just gotta get the job done.
Do you hope for your third fight? Do you want that Anthony Pettis fight? I know you're supposed to fight last year. It'd be a third UFC fighter in a row. Like, are you hoping for that fight?
Well, it's a good exposure. Like fighting a big name is always a good exposure. You beat a name like that, and your name all the time becomes, it's almost like you take cover, right? But at the same time, it's, to be honest, man, whatever comes, everything is welcome. I'm ready for it. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
You're currently sitting with 3 points in the top 4. Do you think that you need more than just a win, or will 6 points get you into the playoffs this year?
I believe that just a win should be good now. Just because the way that the standings are, we all got 3 points. No, never mind. Pettis had 6 points, and then Marco has 4 points. But PFL did something different this time. They put the winners against winners, so we're gonna completely nullify the points, right? The only one that gets to go through is Pettis with 6 points. And then, so then now the winners get to nullify each other out. So we literally are fighting for a spot already, I believe. And then unless the people that are fighting, the ones that lost the last season, are getting 6 points, which I can see some of them getting just because of matchups, I believe a win should be good enough, yeah.
I was going to ask, obviously, like we said, it's your first main event. You're fighting a guy in Clay Collard who has that name value, that exposure that you just mentioned. Do you think that this is the fight that could really expose the Alexander Martinez name to the common MMA fan?
Of course. I mean, every single fight gets exposed a little more. And now this is a big spotlight into it because the main event, fighting a fighter who has defeated 2 big names, Anthony Pettis and then Stephen. And so, like I said, it's so he has some heat carrying with him, and then getting to fights like this is what gets your name out there. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, after your victory against Stevie Ray, you actually mentioned, you felt reinvigorated and you were like leveling up your wrestling game. And Collard also, he's known for striking a lot. A lot of people highlight that, but he also wrestled even before he boxed. So I wanted to ask, how do you feel about Collard's wrestling compared to yours? Like, how comfortable do you feel in that realm?
Well, let's just be honest, man. We all, I think, somehow in this country, like in North America, Canada, or United States, have had a little bit of wrestling, college wrestling, or high school wrestling, or whichever. The thing is, if you gotta keep at it too, though, man. I've been training a lot of wrestling with high-level wrestlers. With Coach Frank Hickman. Now with Coach Nabit from Syndicate, he was a double NCAA. So, high-level wrestlers, as well as my coach from back home, Adam Link, I've been wrestling since pretty much I started my MMA career. So I really believe in my wrestling. Man, you know what? You just go there and, you take the fight as it goes. Like I said, everything comes natural once you're there. You don't force anything. You see a lot of people try to force stuff, and they usually don't have a good time. So you got to go there, enjoy yourself, and just let things come natural.
Yeah.
Training has done. So.
Yeah. And I also just wanted to ask, first main event, a lot of people see you as an underdog. Like, what would this win mean to you, and what kind of statement are you trying to make?
Every single win is really important. Every single win is, it gets you up in the ladder. There is, what's the biggest fight? The next fight. That's the biggest fight every single time. I've been the underdog since I came to PFL. I've kind of been the underdog pretty much in out of all my fights. I've probably not been the underdog, maybe out of 3 only. And then after that, I've always been the underdog. So, man, I take that with pride. It's something to, something to use for your benefit, not something to cry about, So I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm the underdog, but so was I last time. And so was I the one before that and the one before that. So I've been the underdog all the way since. So I'm excited, man. So underdog fight's hard. Yeah.
If you had to pick like one thing that you think you're gonna surprise the crowd with coming into this fight, what would you say?
I think my striking. I think a lot of people are sleeping on my striking. They think I'm more of a grappler just because I get to pull some good stuff with grappling. And but I don't think people realize how high level is my striking. Like I just got a different type of striking that people are not used to. They're used to that grind there, standing there and bang type of striking. But my striking is a little more slick. It's a counter striking, right? So like I said, I think people will be surprised to see my striking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I just have one for you in the
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, I just realized I wasn't holding the microphone the whole time. Why did she say something?
Jeremy, how are you?
Good, man.
Saw you out there playing some, throwing some balls. How's that?
Good, man. Nice. I lost like 2 pounds.
I know it was the Atlanta Heat. What the hell?
I love it, man. It's part of being in Atlanta. It's like jumping into that hot water. You got to really embrace it and enjoy it. Kind of reminds me of being back in the Midwest. And it's been a long time since I've been here. I've been through the airport, stuff like that, but I haven't visited down here since like 2005, where I was down in Florida on like spring break, came up here and visited my cousin in Savannah, Georgia, where he was in the military, and they had a huge block party, and it was madness. So I can't wait for Friday night.
Awesome. Well, it's only a couple of days till Friday night. How are you feeling? How's the weight cut? How's everything?
Feel good right now, considering I'm just a day from making weight. I feel amazing, feel good, and good to get some consistency coming right back in here. It's a quick turnaround for me, and I like that. I was able to work on some things that I needed to work on going forward, and after not fighting for a year to get back in here and do it again, it definitely excites me. I'm very excited, and I can't wait for you guys to see what I've been working on.
Yeah. So after that fight of the year, man, like how long did you take off just to give your body a raise, like your head a break? How long did you take a break?
I think I was back in the gym on Monday, so I think I just enjoyed I went back to the gym, but I was back in the gym on Monday working out. My legs weren't beat up or anything like that. I just had some black eyes, and I healed up quickly, and my body finally healed up, and I was able to take care of an injury that I was leading into the fight, and able to train the way that I wanted to train, do the things that I needed to do to get my volume, get my cardio up, and come in here and give you guys a fantastic show for Friday.
How excited are you that like you're fighting consistency finally? Like you already knew when you're fighting next, we're gonna fight next time. Like how excited are you just to know this?
Very good, man. It was a big confidence booster because say you're fighting in the UFC. You have a fight of the year type candidate like that, you could be fighting 7-8 months, maybe a year down the road. For me, I was fighting past 2 years. I only fought once. That's terrible. I've been fighting since I've been 16 years old. fighting, crazy amount of times to, the big show when I turned 21 on my 21st birthday to fighting 3 times a year at least. So to get back in here and get that consistency was definitely like a security blanket financially. It feels good to get back in there and get that money back up and be able to build for my family. I'm only going to be 36, 37 so long, and then as the years go on, it's as you get older, you got to think about, what's life after fighting, and you can't build a future if you're not making money doing the things that you love to do. So PFL giving me a home, able to provide for my family, build that future. I definitely own one, and I can't wait for Friday. You guys are going to see what I'm talking about.
Second fight week with PFL. How does it differ? How's it feel?
Feels good, man. Nice and relaxed. It's hot here in Atlanta, but it's easy day inside the media.
Awesome. And then Miles Price, man, what do you think of him as an opponent? What are you expecting?
He's dead. He's dead. That's it. Thank you, bro.
I was going to ask, what's the statement that you want to give to the other lightweights in the PFL when you fight Friday night?
You'll hear from me after I take care of business Friday. You'll hear from me, man.
Last time we spoke, you were really happy to put on a great show. Are you looking for more of a highlight reel performance in the first round here to get those extra points?
You know me, man. I'm swinging for the fences like Babe Ruth. The moment that bell rings, if he's not out of there in the first minute, I'm getting him out of there in the second. If he's still there, I'm going for the kill, man. You know me. I swing for the finish, and I got the cardio to back it up this time. I got the skills to pay the bills, and you're in for a treat.
Thank you.
Jeremy, you find it unfair at all that Anthony Pettis he's fighting on the week after you guys and maybe getting more time, or they're screwing things up for everybody else in way for who fights him?
I really don't know anything about it, like how that really works or what the PFL. I just do things, I guess. I'm just in here in the mix. I don't even really know the whole point system or what it is, but I got a feeling if I just do my job, I'm gonna be up there. That's the only thing I know. I'm not worried about him. They're catering to him. Good, good for him.
I'm not sure if you pay attention to fight odds at all, but you are the second biggest favorite on the card. When you look at the matchup against Miles, is that something that's fair, do you think?
I mean, what's fair? Life's not fair, it is what it is, brother.
I want to say, first of all, welcome to Georgia again. We're actually native here.
Nice.
And I wanted to ask, the last fight you mentioned, you wanted to work more on, your cardio and your volume. But you also promised a knockout victory for your next fight. So for this upcoming fight with Miles, you did mention, you're going to be swinging for the fences, but are you going to be focusing a bit more on just like a knockout in the first round or, volume striking?
I'm going to be patiently aggressive. You'll see. I know when to strike and know when to utilize my defense. I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been in there a long time. I've been in there with the best of the best in the world. I see things inside there. I got a good, I can recognize a fastball. I can recognize a changeup, a curve. I can see a spinning kick. I can see things that come in there. And, if I just pressure forward, those opportunities are going to come. I feel like I'll overwhelm him with my shots. I'll be putting a lot of punishment on him. Just looking forward to just getting in there and beating that ass. Regardless, whatever, I'm just looking for the win. At the end of the day, knockouts come, they go. I'm looking for a win here. It's been a long time coming, and it's been about 4 years. So you're going to see a very mean, nasty little heathen inside that octagon, and just expect a fucking nightmare in there.
Yeah. And, how confident are you in your improvements, from your last fight in terms of cardio and volume? And, what kind of training have you done, to improve those?
Great question, man. Again, I was just healthy. I was able to get right back in there. I was dealing with an injury leading up to the Collard fight. It was keeping me away from the distance runs. I was back to get in my distance runs, a lot more consistent in the gym. My weight's a little bit lighter. I wasn't fighting a year later. I knew I was fighting 2 months. So I'm really good at keeping my body healthy and train the way that I want to train. And I feel like I was able to get back into the 45 days where I'm putting in these runs. I'm putting in the sprints. I'm putting in the time in the gym. I'm a lot more consistent. I know I have a fight coming up. So when you're fighting and you're fighting once a year, you don't know when you're fighting, the training gets boring. You're like, dude, what am I doing? Like, what's my future hold? What's it look for me financially? What the fuck? It's like now I have like a security blanket. PFL is like, hey, we'll fight you as often as you want. We're in this tournament. You're going to be banging out these fights 2 months. I'm like, okay, cool. You look at my record, the more consistency that I show up, the better that I do. I was able to be lighter. I wasn't blowing up in weight. I was able to get back right into the gym, train the way that I wanted to train, and take that type of approach of, okay, what do I really need to do to start tightening things up? My last fight, I was winging big shots. That looked like the old school Jeremy Stevens. That was like a smidge of what I truly am. So to get back in there, to be 2 months, it's like getting right back up to bat after you struck out in the first inning. I'm right back up in the second. My team's backed me up. So boom, I get a second inning to get right back in there and swing for the fences again. And I get to make the adjustments, see the fastball coming, see the slider, see the changeup, and I'm going to knock it out the park.
Okay. Obviously, one of the advantages of, the 1 to 2 month, fights in preparation for it is it seems like you're able to, measure your progress more often when you're, it's kind of like the knife is being, sharpened more often. So do you feel like coming into this fight, there's any like concrete goals that you kind of want to bring into the cage in terms of, volume and, cardio?
Yeah, like I said, the last fight, I think I said it best. So I was going to work my volume and cardio. And I think the killer instinct that what you're really going to see is I'm going to be fucking mean inside there. I'm going to bully this guy. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to have it my way, like Burger King. And I'm going to eat this motherfucker up.
Okay. And the last most important question, you mentioned last time.
I'm looking for sponsorships, by the way. You guys caught that.
But yeah, the most important question is, you mentioned the last time you were here in Atlanta, you were at a block party. So let's say you win this fight, are you throwing another block party?
I tell you what, man, I've been seeing coming out here in Atlanta. It's very beautiful. It's very hot. It's very gorgeous, but I see a lot of homeless. Kind of hits home for me, when I was a kid. So I think I'm going to go get some pizzas, as many as I can, and I'm going to deliver them out before I go and celebrate my win. So, yeah, that hits, man. So I'm going to go take care of them people.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you reveal what injury you had going into your debut?
No.
Yeah, season's still going, man.
I'm good now, bro. Just know that. I'm not going to reveal it just because I won't. It's my choice, my body, Oh. No, it's I'm good. Just know that I'm 100% healthy. I'm ready to rock and roll, and that you're going to see a very sharp, skilled Stevens, like I said.
Your guy Dominic Cruz got a big fight against Silveira. How do you see that fight going down?
Hate to be biased, but I have to go with Dominic Cruz, man. I just think that, Cheeto has like really good attributes. Don't get me wrong. He's an amazing fighter. Dom just doesn't play his game. At the end of the day, Dom plays his game. He's going to be faster. I think he's going to be sharper. He's quick. He's hard to find. He's cardio. And a lot of people don't know about this, but Dominic Cruz is a tough motherfucker, man. Mentally, bro. I mean, you see Cody Garbrandt knock him down. You see a lot of guys would probably give up. He continued that fight. He's been through injuries, all this crazy shit. But I feel like now over this past like 2 years, I've seen him in the gym. Consistency is what we've been talking about. His fighting now, I feel like he's able to have his body underneath him, that foundation. So now he just can build on that foundation. And Dom has a mansion. He's gonna come out on top of that fight. Just mark my words. Put your bets down.
Awesome. And finally, man, Clay wasn't here earlier. He said he hopes to see you in the finals again. Is that a fight that you want back?
Yeah, I think that was a fun fight, man. I think we do, man. I think deep down, like the 5 rounds, I feel like me getting the consistency in here, like he has been, with the boxing, the multiple fights. I feel like now that I'm being consistent, I'm healthy, and I know that I'm gonna be fighting a lot more. I'm gonna show up. I'll be the one making the adjustments, and I'll end up on top. We rematch again. His legs ain't gonna make it past first round. Trust me.
Thank you.
When Miles was in here, he was saying that he would want ideally first round sub. Do you expect this fight to take place on the mat more majority or in your round?
It might take place on the mat, but I'm going to be on top. I like the Jiri versus Glover Teixeira. I'm not looking to submit you or whatever. If it's there, I told you I'm going to be mean, bro. If the sub's there still, I want to beat his face in. Honestly, bro. I want to be mean. I want to be nasty. I want to make him feel the pain. I want to make him fold. I want to break another human being. That's my goal. Break him.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
please.
One second here.
Yeah, me too. I need 1 second.
There we go. Good.
Raush, how are you?
Great.
Dude, underdog Raush again. What's up?
Yeah, no, they didn't make a movie like the Brazilian underdog, right? They just did the American underdog. They did to make one for me too.
What's up? Why do they keep putting you as the underdog?
I don't know, but I don't care anymore. You know, I think this is make the history even greater. Like praise the God after the win. I do my best as all I can, and but I feel confident. I don't know why they decide to put me as underdog again, but I'm super confident for this fight.
You're just gonna keep making people money.
Yes, I'm better than Bitcoin for sure.
Are you gonna bet on yourself?
No, I don't bet personally. I don't like it. Like personal opinion, I don't. But I never bet. But I could make a lot of money last year.
It's a couple days before your fight. How are you feeling? How's the weight cut? Just
Weighting cut is doing good. It's like I cut this time 3 pounds less than the last time. So I keep the diet. It was easier for me. I have the energy level high. You know, we're gonna start today tonight. So I'm still happy talking. Normally I'm, play my video games and leave me alone. But this time I feel better than the last weighting cut. So I think this is also going to reflect in my performance.
what video games are you playing?
Right now I'm playing soccer like FIFA 2022 with my daddy. And I also play Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, I like these geek games. I like it.
Awesome. It's been a few months since your fight with Don Madge. I just wanted you to reflect on that fight. How do you feel about your performance?
Yeah, I don't like my performance at all from the last fight, but the only thing I learned from me last fight was like when I decide, okay, now it's my turn. I finish the fight. When I really push him, because he was score points, and I was okay. This is not hurt me. I'm gonna wait for the good opportunity. But the opportunity didn't come, so I need to create my opportunity. And when I decide step in, exchange punches with him, I knock him out. So when I decide, when my coach told, okay, we need a 10-8 for this round, go and pressure this guy, and I pressure him, and this happened. And so I need to start my fights like I finish my fights. It's not something, it's easy to talk, it's difficult to do, because as a counter-attack specialist, I always prefer when a guy push me. So, but this time I did my changes. I started the spar strong, even I getting tighter before, like normally the second round and third round, I did my 100%. This time I finished my spar sessions tired, like, okay, I can't go anymore, but I think what I did is enough to finish the fight before the third round starts. So I'm confident and really happy.
Facing another former UFC fighter, Olivier, I just wanted your thoughts on the matchup.
I really like the matchup. To be honest, I think the dangerous guy, a good fight. I could fight this season. I was like, okay, if I going through this guy, the other guys are strikers, so it's no secret to beat them. But Olivier, I think is the worst guy they couldn't schedule me for his style. So I had really a good camp, but tough to training because I really need to train with better wrestlers than me. So to avoid the takedown, so I'm ready to defend the takedowns. If he don't try the takedowns, you're gonna strike each other. But was a difficult camp. But I think I paid the price to win this fight during my camp.
Do you believe he's just going to try and wrestle you?
No, definitely not. He's a really good striker too, strong kicks, and we're gonna. I think he's curious too to see how strong I am, if my punches are really that strong, how I am, curious to see how strong he are in the bar lock. If he take down me, I can stand. So I'm ready for everything. I'm not afraid. Yeah, I'm very anxious to this fight.
Finally, American Top Team, Joanna. Joanna's retiring. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Man, I think she has a exceptional career. She can do whatever she wants. She don't need to prove nothing for anyone more. When I saw the news, I was like sad because you never want to see your training partner leave, but I realize also for the girls in the sport are difficult because I don't need to stop my career to be a dad. A girl needs. So it's a different. It's tougher for the women in the sport, definitely. But the best thing in the world is to be a parent. So I understand what she told. Like I want to be a mom and this kind of stuff. I just need to respect.
Thank you.
You mentioned in a recent interview that you were inspired while working security at a party and people were throwing money around.
Yeah.
If you go and win another million, could you ever see yourself throwing money around like
Never. My discipline, my faith never allowed me to do something like that. I already living the life I always want. I always pray God to live. And even if I get more $10 million, maybe I just change my car because now I have a really nice car. But that's it. I don't need to fancy clothes. Don't change my style. I don't want more. I really want to make more money, but to help another person as a church, to help person. Okay, I know what you're going through. I want to help you. I want to maybe, be a very good example to the kids in Brazil. Give them a structure for they grow and helping to study, go to the college. That's why I want to be a billionaire to help this kind of person. But my personal lifestyle now is really good. I can make a barbecue anytime I want. I don't need to work as security anymore. I'm totally satisfied where I'm living. I want more, but not for myself. I want more to do more for the persons around me.
Do you have any specific plans to celebrate if you do win Friday?
After the win Friday, definitely I want to eat some barbecue. Definitely. Because after the wedding cut, I can't eat red meat after the wedding, and I love it. It's my favorite. So I want to go to the nice restaurant. My wife's gonna be here with my daughter, so definitely gonna chill in the city. We're gonna stay here until Sunday night. So we want to see the aquarium Saturday, the Coca-Cola Museum. We're gonna be a nice tourist here.
Definitely. Thank you.
I wanted to ask regarding your opponent. He actually is coming up, a victory against, your friend and training partner Natan. Does that, give you any extra motivation coming into this fight?
No, I'm trying to not take this personal, because I think when I always try put something personal, these always make me spend more energy, and in situations you don't need to spend energy. I want to have that samurai spirit, like I'm going to be there to try and knock this guy out and to not put emotionals in part of this. But I know how good he is. I respect him a lot. I think he's an exceptional fighter, awesome fighter too. And I'm happy to fight him. I think I deserve the best fighters in the world.
You mentioned, you're not trying to be like overly emotional, about that fact, going into the fight. But did you, study his fight against?
Yes. Of course, I studied him. I talk with Natan. What do you think? What are his strong points? What if about his punches? About his kicks? We talk each other to see. Okay, try avoid this and go for that way, and we're gonna be good in the fight. So yes, I of course I talked to him to create my strategy plan for this fight.
So with that in mind, what do you think is your biggest advantage coming into this fight against your opponent?
I think he's a bigger guy than me, so probably his weighting cut process is a little bit difficult. And I saw also my second and third round are a lot better than my first one, and his first round is super strong. So I think when he pushed me in the first round, I wanna wake up faster and I start my rhythm like in the third round. So I think that's why. And he eventually every round his performance going is lower, and I am the opposite. So I think this is a kind of advantage for me if the fight go after the first round.
Okay. And ideally, if you were to finish your opponent in this fight, what would be your ideal finish?
Head kick. He's a southpaw. I think, put through some punches. The guy was almost quitting, and you threw a head kick, and the referee stopped. Would be a perfect finish for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Vamos, aí sim.
I just got one question for you in the back, and then you can